Hi, my name is Angie Wong, and I am president of Legacy PAC. We just came off a huge bus tour across the nation where we went and supported Republican candidates that were running in the midterm elections. We're going to do it again in Georgia for Herschel Walker during his runoff. And of course, we're mobilizing for the big presidential run in 2024. We would love your support and your donations to help us hold the line for the America First agenda and to support the next generation of conservative leaders. So please go to legacy-pac.org. That's legacy-pac.org. Thank you so much for your continued support.
Are you guys ready to send Herschel Walker to the U.S. Senate? How many of you have already voted? Let me see the hands. There you go. How many of you are going to spend the next 2 days getting all your friends and family to vote? I don't know about you, but I cannot wait to see the long faces on the sets of CNN and MSNBC on Tuesday night when the eyes of the entire world are on the state of Georgia and they announce that the next U.S. Senator from the Peach State is Herschel Walker! My name is Ralph Reed. I'm the head of the Faith and Freedom Coalition, and I'm the former head of the Georgia Republican Party. And I tell you, we've had a lot of great victories in this state. But the sweetest victory we've ever had is when we stare down Raphael Warnock, Stacey Abrams, Joe Biden, and Chuck Schumer and replace Raphael Warnock with Herschel Walker. I've got good news for you today. Very good news. Number one, on November 8th, we fired Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House. The media and the Democrats have done everything they can to say we didn't win on November 8th. But Nancy Pelosi is out as Speaker and she is never coming back. Then, yesterday, the Georgia Bulldogs won the SEC championship game. And they're on their way to the playoffs and their second consecutive national championship. And then on Tuesday, Herschel Walker's going over to the top and on his way to the U.S. Senate. Now, before I introduce the next speaker, I just want to tell you, if you hadn't gotten your marching orders yet, what our job is for the next roughly 38 hours. That's all that's left. 38 hours. And then the people go to the polls. I want you to, first of all, ignore the polls. The polls are irrelevant. They're almost always wrong. Ignore them. The second, ignore the media. Ignore the press. They want to talk about everything and distract us with everything except what our job is. I want you to get on your work boots, get on your tennis shoes, get on your phone, call everybody you know, go door to door in your neighborhood. Let's turn out every single vote and let's put Herschel Walker in the United States Senate. Now, we are thrilled to welcome a man to Georgia who you have probably seen on occasion on Fox News. He is, he may have gone to Oxford University, but he is a straight talker. He tells it like it is. He's a former Democrat, but he saw the light. And he's a Republican today. He was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2016, re-elected this November. He's going to be one of Herschel's colleagues. Would you please welcome to Georgia, Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana.
Georgia? I think you're star-spangled awesome. And you got a hell of a football team, I can tell you that. Dear Lord, save us from the IQ stupid people. They may be smart, but they don't have any sense. Now you know who they are. They're all over Washington, D.C. These high IQ stupid people. And they're in charge. Most of them are woke. Most of them are members of the berserk wing of the Democratic Party. They're in charge. And these high IQ stupid people have an answer for everything. You know why? Because they think they're smarter and more virtuous than the American people. These woke, high IQ stupid people, they're easy to recognize. They hate George Washington. They hate Thomas Jefferson. They hate Dr. Zeus, and they hate Mr. Potato Head. These woke, high IQ stupid people, they walk around with Ziploc bags of kale that they can eat to give them energy. Now, if you want to eat kale, that's up to you. I don't eat kale. You know why? Because kale tastes to me like I'd rather be fat. And these high IQ stupid people, the wokers in charge in Washington, D.C., the berserk wing of the Democratic Party, they hyperventilate on their yoga mats if you use the wrong pronoun. They're all over Washington, D.C. Now, I understand that President Obama just came to town. I understand that President Obama just came to Georgia. But he didn't come to Georgia. He didn't come to Georgia to encourage the good people of Georgia. He didn't come to talk about hope and change. He came to make fun of my friend Herschel Walker. Now, I'm glad to see President Obama out and about. Good for you, Mr. President. Just get out and about. Get the blood flowing. And President Obama, he's smart. He's one of the smartest people on the planet. Just ask him. And President Obama, he's very eloquent. He can talk a hungry dog off a meat wagon. He's got a silver tongue.
I still want to see his birth certificate.
And President Obama, the media, hi media, how y'all doing? The media loves President Obama. They worship at the altar of President Obama.
Altar to the devil.
Now, President Obama wouldn't do this, but if he told many members of the media to go join the Taliban, they'd say, "Where's the line?" And I know President Obama is very sophisticated. He doesn't drink coffee unless it takes 10 or more words to order it. But let me say this, President Obama got one thing right. He and Mr. Walker, my friend, are two very different people. Herschel Walker is a gentleman. He's a gentleman and a gentleman. Herschel Walker, Mr. Walker is very plain spoken. What you see is what you get. But you know what I like best about Mr. Walker? He knows who he is. And he knows what he believes. Mr. Walker, unlike President Obama, understands that America was founded by geniuses. But right now it's being run by idiots. Mr. Walker, unlike Mr. Obama, understands that if the aliens landed in Washington, D.C. tomorrow and said, "Take me to your leader," it would be embarrassing. Mr. Walker understands that Republicans may not be perfect, but the other side is crazy, folks. They are. Mr. Walker, my friend HERSCHEL, believes in America. He believes that America is the greatest country in the whole of human history, and the whole world wants to come here. When is the last time you heard of somebody trying to sneak into China? Even people who hate America don't want to leave it. My friend HERSCHEL Walker is proud. Unlike President Obama, he's proud of what we accomplished when the Republicans were in charge. You think about it. We cut taxes, we increased wages, we had the lowest unemployment rate in the history of this extraordinary country for African Americans and for Hispanic Americans. We delivered 3.5% unemployment. We created 8 million new jobs pre-COVID. We deregulated the economy. We beat back ISIS. We controlled the border. We secured our streets. We controlled inflation. We strengthened our military. We stood up to China, and we confirmed 234 of the finest women and men you'll ever meet to our federal judiciary, including 3 new members of the United States Supreme Court. We can do it again. Now, let me say a word about President Biden. Now, I don't hate anybody. I look for grace wherever I can find it. When I pray at night, one of the things I ask God for is, God, please don't let me hate. But I also believe in telling the truth to the American people. And these are my words, not HERSCHEL's. But Mr. Walker understands, unlike Mr. Obama, that the Biden administration sucks. President Biden has mismanaged Congress. He's mismanaged COVID. He's mismanaged the border. He's mismanaged crime. He's mismanaged Afghanistan. He's mismanaged the economy. He's mismanaged America's energy independence. And he's mismanaged inflation. Now, I don't like to brag about the expensive places I have been. But the other night I went to the grocery store. And inflation made by President Biden is gutting the American people like a fish. Mr. Walker, my friend, understands, unlike President Obama, that the criminals are the bad guys. They're not the good guys, they're the bad guys. HERSCHEL Walker understands, unlike President Obama, that vetting people at the border is not racist. It's prudent. In fact, it's the law. And my friend HERSCHEL Walker understands that Arlington National Cemetery contains 400,000 reasons why you should stand your ass up for the national anthem. Let me leave you with this final thought, folks. My friend HERSCHEL Walker believes that the future of the state of Georgia and the United States of America can be better than our present or our past. Mr. Walker understands that we're only as good as our dreams, that we're only as valuable as our children. Mr. Walker also understands, my friend HERSCHEL, though, that the water in Washington, D.C. is not going to get clear up until you get the pigs out of the creek. Now, folks, as our next United States Senator, Mr. Herschel Walker can't promise you that he's going to win every fight. Because you know what? It's not a perfect world. He may not win every fight, but I'll tell you this about Herschel Walker. And you can write this down and take it home to Mama. Herschel Walker, as your United States Senator, will always refuse to be beat. There is no quit in Herschel Walker. So I want you to go vote. I want you to go vote. Did I mention I want you to go vote? Look at it this way, folks. If dead people can do it, so can you. God bless you.
Hello, Georgia! How's everybody doing out here? How's everybody doing? Are y'all ready for another national championship here in Georgia? I'm a Gamecock fan. Let us pray. Lord, next year, you know, I love my colleague Kennedy. He's a master of the English language. He even celebrates the Georgia win from a man from the LSU territory. That's real integrity. But like my friend John, I don't hate people. But I do hate inflation and the impact it's having on people living paycheck to paycheck. I do hate crime that's devastating neighborhoods all over South Carolina and Georgia. I do hate when I hear that Afghanistan was a perfect withdrawal, leaving 13 dead American soldiers. I hate the fact that we have a porous, they told me to go to stage. Hey, okay. I do hate the fact that our southern border is so wide open that fentanyl is walking across our southern border and has led to over 100,000 American deaths. I do hate the fact that 98 people on the terrorist watch list crossed our southern border. I do hate the fact that 2.3 million illegal crossings crossed our southern border. I hate the fact that President Biden is giving student loan relief, $800 billion of student loan relief. I'm the first college graduate in my family. And I thank God Almighty I live in a country where that's possible. Because if you knew my high school academic performance, you would say, there is a God. I know. I'm the guy that failed a little bit in high school as a freshman. I failed world geography and even civics, the study of politics. After 9 years in the Senate, I am not the only one failing civics in the United States Senate. But I'll tell you this, while I graduated, thank you, laude, Herschel Walker graduated cum laude right here in Georgia. You see, while I hate the things that are causing the American people pain and suffering and worry, I love American heroes who answer the call. That's one of the reasons why I love Herschel Walker, who's answering the call. Why don't we see Joe Biden in Georgia? Why don't we see Joe Biden in Georgia? But what we do see is that Senator Warnock votes 96% of the time with Joe Biden. That's not Georgia. Georgia deserves a senator who understands that lowering inflation means stop spending money you don't have, buying things you don't need, trying to impress a world that's not impressed. We need Herschel Walker. You see, Georgians understand that we need a candidate and a senator who knows that the way you bring crime down is not defunding the police, it's refunding the police. Georgia needs Herschel Walker. Georgians know, without a doubt, that every single parent should be in charge of their kids' education. The Republican Party must be the party of parents. We don't need CRT, we need ABC. And to get ABC, you need Herschel Walker. So, hallelujah. I'm not taking up an offering right now. I'm going to finish my sermon with one final point. I believe America's best days are ahead of her. I believe in the future of this amazing country. But it will take Americans rising up to the call. It will take Americans showing up this Tuesday. If you have not voted, you should go to the polls with a friend of yours. And if you don't have a friend, make one today. Anywhere in Georgia, we need the votes. And by winning on Tuesday, you are restoring sanity to America. By winning on Tuesday, you're bringing inflation down. You're restoring respect to our law enforcement officers, and you're fully funding the greatest military in the history of the planet. Now, remember this. January the 5th, 2021, when we lost 2 seats in Georgia, the cost of one single seat in Georgia cost the American taxpayers more than $4 trillion. Hear me now. $4 trillion. $3.1 trillion between the $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. The only thing missing, COVID relief. That was the first bill Biden passed. $1.2 trillion in an infrastructure package. And then $740 billion earlier this year. $4 trillion is what the American people paid because of one lost seat in Georgia. Let's win that seat back by bringing Herschel Walker to the stage and to the United States Senate.
Hello there. How you guys doing? Before I ever speak, I always acknowledge my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because he said if you don't acknowledge him, he's not going to acknowledge you. And I also acknowledge my wife, Julie, who's with me as well. So I thank you guys so much. But I want to thank all you for being here. Because, you know, now when you come out with the wrong horse, they sometimes cancel you out. But I want to make sure you know you're with the right horse right now. Because I'm from that school, Ricky Bobby. So I want to say that I was made for this right here. Because I thought at one time in my life, I thought I was a football player. But no, no, no. God had another plan for me. Because, I started out as that little kid and my mom said I was big bone. It meant that I was fat. And I used to have a speech impediment where I couldn't put a sentence together. So almost for 4 years of my life, I never went out for a recess. 4 years of my life, I never spoke in a classroom. Kids didn't even think I could speak. I used to get bullied all the time, used to get beat up. But God had a plan. He's a good God, isn't he? He had a plan that he got me to go to that University of Georgia. Yes. He had a plan that I won that Heisman Trophy. So he started thinking that I was this football player. Everyone said he's this football player, but this what was so funny. I got to be on the 1992 Olympic bobsled team. Think about it. There's absolutely no snow here in Georgia, is there? And then I got a chance to play 15 years of pro ball, played 15 years of pro football. So I started thinking I was that football player. But no, 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 no. God had another plan because he had to break me. And I didn't understand what was happening because someone told me I had a mental problem. And I'm thinking, Herschel Walker got a mental problem? And I'm talking about myself in third person, but I know that. So I decided to go to this hospital out in California, and I went to that hospital, and I go, whoa, these people here are crazy. These people here are crazy right here, but I'm not like them. But then I got washed in the blood of Jesus, and I realized that we all fall short of the glory of God. But what was so funny, then I got out of that hospital, and I was on the road. I built this little company called Renaissance Man. It became one of the largest minority-owned food service companies in the United States of America. And then, no, wait a minute. And then, I'm going to tell y'all this little secret of mine. A lot of people didn't know I didn't want to go to college. Around my little hometown called Wrightsville, Georgia. And that's that little town that if you got 1 year to live, you move there because that year is forever. Same old, same old. So none of my family members ever went off to college. So I saw them going to the military. So I always looked up to the military because I do believe in there's peace through strength. And you hear a lot of people standing in front of us talking about their peace through strength. So I wanted to be in the military. I wanted to go to the Marines. So I couldn't tell my mom and dad I was going to the Marines. So I was going to wait them out. I was going to wait them out and then slip off to the Marines, and they'll never, no one will never know it. And then all of a sudden my mom came to me on Easter Sunday. My mom said, Bo, because my nickname is Bo. And some of you thought Bo Jackson. But I need to let y'all know that Bo Jackson never beat me in anything. That's what's so funny. But my mom came to me and she said, Bo, don't you think it's time for you to decide where you want to go to college? But before I could say anything, she said, but let me tell you this. If your mind and your heart is pure to Lord Jesus, no matter what decision you make, God will make it right for you. So I ended up flipping a coin. That's the way I ended up at the University of Georgia. So when I got out of that hospital, not only did I build that company, but I spent 15 years, every 3 weeks, I went to a military base where I tried to remove the stigma of mental health because those are our true heroes right there. Our military are our true heroes. So that's what God said. He is ready right now. He's ready because I didn't know what God wanted with me. But all of a sudden, I started watching television. I'm not telling you to watch TV, but sometimes that's not the best idea to do because sometimes you realize the media is not your friend. Because it's funny, because this is what was so funny. Y'all, I'm going to tell you something. Do y'all know Raphael went out and spent over $100 million against me already? And we're in a tie. That means he don't know how to spend his money, so why is he spending your money? So that's the reason. That's the reason I started watching and seeing what was going on, because I remember as a little boy growing up, my father told me no, he meant no. And then when I got too big to be in his home, he said, son, if you don't like the roof underneath it, if you don't like the roofs underneath my roof, you can leave my house. So I said, maybe we need some leaders in Washington that said, if you don't like the rules of the United States of America, you can leave the United States of America. Because we're not trying to keep you here. That's what's so funny. We're a country that you can go wherever you want to go. But if the other country would take you. But this is what's so funny. We've elected people to Washington that have forgotten about that we do have a border, that we can secure that border. So they're just letting everyone come in bringing drugs from that border into Georgia, because you may not know this. 70% of the drugs coming from that border goes through Atlanta, Georgia. So y'all know what those drugs are doing. They're killing our kids. They're killing our parents. They're killing us. Because one of the things y'all may not know, the guy I'm running against, Reverend Senator Raphael Warnock. Did y'all see him in that debate? Let's be honest here. Did anyone think he can beat Herschel Walker in a debate? Let's be real about this. Because what he was this preacher that I call a false prophet. He was this preacher that I call a wolf in sheep's clothing, because what he tried to do to me, but he couldn't do it to me. Whenever he get in trouble, he tried to throw those Bible verses on me. He know he can't work those Bible verses on me, because I've been reading the Bible, and the first thing I learned from him when he said the words America need to apologize for his whiteness. And I said, wait a minute, what Bible you reading from? God don't know nothing about the color of your skin. God know about your heart. So quit talking about the color of people's skin, but all he want to talk about is the color of your skin. But yet, he's in a place of a man that used to talk about not the color of your skin, but the content of your character. And he should have known, because of 23andMe, we don't know what color we are, but it really don't matter, does it? Because we do know that we're Americans, and because we're American, that's what should count. So we need to get back to being an American, not black, white, yellow, green. They even call us brown sometimes. They've been calling me names. Have y'all seen the names they've been calling me lately? They called me a coon the other day. Can you believe that? Like it kind of hurt my feeling. Oh, yes, they did. And I told them, I'm from the country, and if you know anything about a coon, he's one of the smartest animals out there. So I don't think that's going to hurt my feeling. I'll tell you what's hurting my feeling right now. What's hurting my feeling right now when I see him talking about the thing that's wrong with Americans is racism. And I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Have you not read in that great book that I read that God said, a house divided can you not stand? So quit trying to divide your house, because this is what he's doing to you. Just listen to me. You got to stay with me now, because sometimes they get this as a sound bite, but this is going to be a good one right here. This is about this man that died early in life. You got to listen to me. He died early in life, and he got to heaven, and St. Peter met him at the pearly gates. And St. Peter said, sir, you're not here. You're here a little bit early right now, and your name ain't on the roll. And the guy was like, uh-oh. And he said, so what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to let you decide where you want to go. Say, I'm going to take you to heaven, and I'm going to take you to hell, and you get to determine where you like to be. So he puts him in his elevator. He says him all the way down to hell, and the doors open up. And there was a party going on. He having a good time. He sees some of his friends down there. He having a great time. And St. Peter came to him and said, sir, you ready to go? You ready to go? And the guy said, I got to leave now. He said, yes, you got to make a decision. So he puts him in his elevator, sends him all the way up to heaven. And they get to heaven, and there are people floating around on clouds, having a good time. And after a couple of hours, St. Peter came to him and said, have you made your mind up? Have you made your mind up? And the guy said, well, St. Pete, I hate to tell you this, I think I want to go to hell. So that seemed like my type of place down there. I want to go to hell. So St. Peter puts him back in this elevator, sends him all the way back down to hell now. And the doors open up, and it's hot. People are miserable. They're crying. They're having a terrible time. And the guy said, wait a minute. A couple of hours ago when I was here, there was a party going on. And Satan shows up and said, a couple of hours ago, I was campaigning. And I said, that's what is happening right now. That's what is happening right now. You see the people on the left, no, you got to stay with me right now. Stay with me for a moment. That's what they're doing to you. They're campaigning right now. They're campaigning because they're lying to you. Senator Warnock, who's this man out of cloth, is lying to you. And I told you, y'all saw him in that debate when he became Scooby-Doo, didn't you? You saw him when he became Scooby-Doo, because they got to the point that they asked him that question, sir, will you vote for Biden in 2024? And he go, I don't know. And I'm like, that's what's happening right now, because he can stand in front of you and tell you all that stuff he's going to do. But I need to tell you what he's doing that is wrong, because they told me that to run for Senate, you got to know some stuff. That's what he said. You got to know some stuff. Well, did he not know? You can't be giving our energy to our enemy, because the definition of an enemy is they don't like you. Do you not know that? They don't like you, and you shouldn't be negotiating with terrorists, because they don't like you either. They don't like anybody, but yet we're negotiating with them. But then they were trying to tell you they didn't know the definition of a woman. You remember that? They don't know the definition of a woman. Then they were trying to tell you a man can get pregnant. No, he can't. A man can't get pregnant. Get it out of your head. If you go to that great book, you would have learned there's a man and there's a woman. That's the definition of a woman. She's a woman. She's from the rib of a man. So what we need to do is don't let them take you down in that elevator, because that's what I was watching on TV. I was watching this senator trying to divide God's people. And I said, no. God don't need a politician. He needs that warrior. That's the one he put me here for. So I am not that football player. I'm that warrior that came and said, I am sick and tired, and I got common sense. I got common sense how to spend money, and I know I won't be spending money that I don't have. That means I'm going to go bankrupt. Do y'all not know that? And then I do know there's peace through streets. So why are they bringing pronouns in our military? Pronouns? What the heck is a pronoun? I'm sick and tired of that pronoun stuff. Aren't y'all sick and tired of that pronoun stuff? So why don't we call this senator former senator? That's his pronoun. He's going to be former senator because it's time for him to go. And I'm going to tell you right now, don't let that door hit you in the backside and you walk out of the people's office. That's what we need to get to. We need to get back to people who become leaders. We don't need followers no more. So he's been following Joe Biden around because this is what was so funny. I don't know if y'all saw, our president was in Massachusetts. He was campaigning for Senator Warnock, who lives in Georgia, because of the way Senator Warnock votes. He thought he was a Massachusetts senator. That's what he was thinking. And I'm like, wait. Massachusetts already got that senator. They don't need it anymore. He even said that. He said, hey, there's no time that I ever thought he didn't vote with me. I can't believe that our president thinking that Senator Warnock is from Massachusetts. Well, Senator Warnock votes like that. Most of his money comes from California or New York. Don't even come from Georgia. So maybe he need to know if he's going to spend California money, go to California. Don't be staying here messing with our money. So first of all, get away from our military when you're bringing that wokeness into our military. And then he called our men and women in blue, he called them names. Can you believe that? He called our men and women in blue names. And I'm like, what is he talking about? Defunding the police. That's a stupid idea. Wait. Can't say stupid because, I'm running for Senate. I can't do that. That's not politically correct. That's a dumb idea. Is it not a dumb idea? We should be defunding the police. That's not what we should be doing. What we should do is get behind the police. Because the other night when I was leaving our campaign office, it was starting to get dark outside. I watched this police officer pull over this car, a little white car with dark windows. And as this officer walking up to the car, I started getting nervous. Because as you see, we all got iPhones now. You videotape things. You always videotaping something that the police are doing that's wrong. But do y'all know most of the police officers are very good people? They're not bad people, so quit making them look like they're bad people. They are not bad people. But this is what was so funny. They almost got me caught up in that elevator because I started thinking maybe we need to reform the police because I'm thinking he was a bad one. But then I was, no. They're not taking me down that elevator. Why don't we reform the citizen too? Because maybe they should show respect. Show respect to that officer because that officer has on a uniform. He only put that uniform on because he's going to work. He's going to work just like when you put your work uniform on. So, but when you take that uniform on, he's a mom, he's a dad. He's a sister, and she's a brother. So I'm telling you right now, what we got to do is show respect to these officers, and then we need to get these liberal judges out of there that thinking no cash bail. Can you believe that? What is this no cash bail thing? I remember in the great book that I've been reading, and that book had Adam and Eve. When Adam and Eve was in that garden, you remember they was in the garden, and God told them, from this place here you have total freedom, but if you touch or eat from this tree here, you will surely die. They were held to responsibility. So maybe it's time to hold people to responsibility when they commit a crime instead of letting them out. Because then, as you letting people out of prison, we become prisoners in our own homes. So the only one running free are the prisoners. Do they not get that? But they don't know the definition of stuff. They're changing Webster altogether. They're just changing words. I'm going to tell you, don't let them take you down that elevator. So then all of a sudden they got to the point that they realized that we were too smart for it because we're a little bit older. They start going to your kids. You heard them. They start going to your kids. They start teaching your kids. And I tell you, Senator Scott talked about it. Instead of teaching them how to read and write, they're teaching them about critical race theory. Instead of teaching them how to spell, they were teaching them about gender ideology. And I'm going to tell you this here. What we could do to protect our kids, instead of having 87,000 RS agents, why don't we put one of those agents in the schoolhouse that can protect our kids? That's what we can do. Get those 87,000 RS agents that are going to go after you. Because that's all they're going to do, be going after you. You know that. And then they're trying to fool you and tell you that they care about you. If they cared about you, they'll think about we the people, not we the government. Get that out of here. It's we the people. So this is how we can get them done. We just got to get out and vote. It's time to have our voices heard and our vote counted. So quit making a complaint. Not what we need to do. Get to the polls. We got to vote. And I tell you, Senator Scott talked about this too. If you don't have a friend, go make a friend and get them out to vote. That's what we got to do now. Everybody got to vote. Have your voices heard. That's what I'm telling you right to do right now. Shall come rain, sun, or shine. We got to get out there and let them know we're sick and tired of this. It is time for us to get people in Washington that are going to become leaders. And we can't be there no more. Hey, let me tell you this here. You saw Georgia won that SEC championship, didn't you? You saw a lot of people get out there and play. And they did it as one. They did it together. That's what we got to do right now. We got to do it together. Hello, Mr. Walsh. This is Herschel Walker, and I was just calling to check and see if you voted, and if you haven't, to remind you to get out on December the 6th to vote.
Oh, Herschel, hey, absolutely will. You've got my vote for sure.
Well, thank you so much, and you're doing well?
I'm doing very, very well, and I'm very grateful for people like you that have a platform that matters.
Well, thank you so much, and you're going to vote for me, and we're also going to cheer the Dogs to go out and win the playoff and get back into the national championship.
There we go. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Would love nothing better than that, especially after yesterday.
No, all right then. Hey, God bless you, and thank you so much.
God bless you too, sir. Good luck here on May God be with you on Tuesday.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.